The statistics for Scottish Statutory Debt Solutions, Bankruptcy, PTDs and DAS use the administrative data processed within the AIB. These are stored on the systems BASIS, Astra and Eden, formerly Dash. Note that Dash was decommissioned on the 30th of June 2019 and its replacement system Eden went live on the 1st of July 2019. The exception to this is creditor and trustee petition bankruptcies. This is sourced from the courts that grant them and then stored on the BASIS system. The statistics for statutory moratorium on diligence also use administrative data processed within the AIB. This is stored on the Register of Insolvencies. Corporate insolvencies calculated using the administrative data records provided by the courts and insolvency professionals, liquidators and receivers. Corporate insolvency statistics published by the AIB may differ from equivalent statistics published by the Insolvency Service. This is because the Insolvency Service use their own administrative data of records and Companies House to produce their statistics. There may be a time lag between the award and registration date and the date on which the AIB receives notice of the insolvency. The statistics presented here do not include non-statutory debt solutions, where debtors make their own arrangements with creditors or enter informal debt management plans with a debt management firm. The main points for April 2023 to March 2024. There were 8,082 personal insolvencies in Scotland in 23-24. That's 81 or 1% more than the previous financial year. A total of 2,495 bankruptcies were awarded this financial year, a 5.9% increase on 2022-2023. Protected trust deeds decreased by 1% to 5,587 over the same period. There were 3,476 applications for moratoria granted in 2023-2024. This is 208 or 6.4% more than the figure granted in 2022-2023. There were 5,278 debt payment programmes under Debt Arrangement Scheme approved in 2023-2024, compared with 4,947 granted in 22-23, an increase of 6.7%. In 2023-2024, around 50 million was repaid from debtors under DAS, compared with the 47 million repaid in 2022-2023. For all bankruptcy cases, excluding minimal asset process, concluded in 23-24, the mean dividend paid to ordinary creditors, including those with zero dividends, was 8.1 pence in the pound, compared with 13.1 pence in the pound in 2022-2023. For all PTDs concluded in 2023-24, the mean dividend paid to ordinary creditors, including those with zero dividends, was 17.3 pence in the pound, compared with 15.8 in 22-23. There were 1,168 corporate insolvencies in 23-24, 36 more than in 22-23. Total awards of bankruptcy in 23-24 remain below pre-pandemic levels. A total of 2,495 bankruptcies were awarded this financial year, a 5.9% increase on 22-23. Awards of bankruptcies are still below the levels we were seeing pre-pandemic. Since 2019-20, awards of bankruptcy have decreased by 47.5%. Awards of bankruptcy can be grouped into three types: debtor application made by the debtor to the accountant in bankruptcy; creditor petition, applications to the court made by a creditor to pursue the sequestration of a debtor; trustee petition, applications where the trustee under a trust deed has applied to the court for the debtor's sequestration. Debtor applications accounted for the majority, 80.8%, of bankruptcies awarded in 23-24. Although still well below pre-pandemic levels, creditor petitions increased in 23-24. There are two types of debtor applications for bankruptcy: minimal asset process, MAP, or full administration. In 23-24, around 70% of bankruptcies awarded through debtor applications were MAP cases, with the remaining cases being full administration, discharge from bankruptcy. A debtor in bankruptcy will normally be bankrupt for 1 year. After this period, they may be discharged. Although the debtor is discharged, the administration of the bankruptcy continues until the trustee has dealt with all of the estate and accounted for their work, so that they can seek their own discharge. The full bankruptcy process can last 4 years or longer. A bankruptcy is considered concluded when the trustee has been discharged. In 2023-24, there were 2,820 bankruptcies discharged, based on the discharge of the trustee, a 0.8% increase on the previous year. Protected trust deeds. A PTD is a formal debt solution where an agreement is made between a debtor and creditors to repay part or all of their debt. The debtor conveys their estate to an IP, the trustee, to administer for the benefit of creditors, and the arrangement normally includes a contribution from income for a set period. There were 5,587 protected trust deeds registered in 23-24, a 1% decrease on 22-23. In 2019-2020, there were 8,743 PTDs registered. That's the highest since 2011-12. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of PTDs registered fell by nearly 40%. Since the pandemic, the number of PTDs registered has increased slightly, but remains steady. In 23-24, almost 61.7 million was ingathered, 5.7% more than the total receipts in 22-23. 41.9% of the total receipts were payable to ordinary creditors through a dividend, compared with 39.7% in 22-23. Debt Arrangement Scheme. The Debt Arrangement Scheme, DAS, is a statutory debt management solution administered by the accountant in bankruptcy. Under the DAS, debtors commit to a debt payment plan, enabling them to repay their debts based on their disposable income. Throughout the duration of the debt payment plan, debtors are protected from any creditor actions to recover the debt. In 2023-2024, there were 5,278 approved debt payment plans under DAS, compared with 4,947 approved in 22-23, an increase of 6.7%. A debt payment plan reaches completion when the debt in the programme has been paid in full. There were 1,826 completed DAS DPPs in 23-24, a 4.8% decrease when compared with 1,918 in 2022-23. The total debt included in live DPPs has increased from 357 million to 391 million by 31st of March 2024. In 23-24, around 50.3 million was repaid through DAS, a 7.2% increase when compared with 47 million repaid in 22-23. Since the DAS Scotland Amendment Regulations 2018 came into force on the 4th of November 2019, creditors receive a minimum of 78% of the debt owed to them from debtors on new debt payment plans approved. That's after the DAS administrator and payment distributor fees are taken. Prior to this, the minimum was set at 90%. In 2023-24, 41.2 million was repaid to creditors. Average debt level by type of debt solutions. Chart 22 shows the median average debt level by financial year and type of debt solution. In 2023-24, the debt of a typical petition, MAP, full administration, PTD and DAS respectively is 16,100, 12,500, 30,700, 17,200 and 15,100. The debt level for each debt solution remains fairly stable over time since 2015-16, with the exception of full administration and creditor petitions. There was a 23.6% increase in the median debt level for full administration cases in 2020-2021. This has remained steady since. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the minimum debt level for creditor petitions was raised to £10,000. Then in October 2022, this was permanently set at £5,000. Corporate insolvency. There were 1,168 corporate insolvencies in 23-24, 36 more than in 22-23. Corporate insolvencies include receivership appointments, compulsory liquidations and creditor voluntary liquidations. In 23-24, the AIB also recorded 515 members' voluntary liquidations, compared with 632 in 2022-2023. Members' voluntary liquidations are not a form of insolvency.